Hey everybody! Are you ready to see some SuperSize sales? Well, I got them. The sales in this video are from my Facebook group where we have a dedicated thread every month. So make sure you're posting your $100 and over sales in the right place so I can find them for these videos. These sales happened in May of 2025. So we will get started with a repeat offender, Bill Hunt. And I chose this one because he said it took 19 months to sell. So while Bill is a heavy hitter on the Money Making Mondays and $100 sales threads, it's not all easy. Things don't happen immediately. We all have to have patience. So he says, free to me, found it at a family-run estate sale. I think the ones running it were too embarrassed and flustered to give me a price, so they just said I could have it. So it was free. Sold for $100 after 19 months. This is an original signed art proof print, Adam and Eve. So a little bit of an adult theme, but very cool piece of art, sketch, I guess, and $100, but it took 19 months. However, where else can you do that? Something free and it comes back to you with $100. Okay, next we've got Peggy Chandler. Took a $100 offer, paid 99 cents at a small thrift shop while traveling. For some reason, the blue whale is in high demand. And that's good to know because I have sold this brand before, but never for more than about 20 bucks. The brand is called Angel Deer, and this is a baby lovey. The ones I found look just like this, but they have a different animal or baby or something at the top, but they're a little bit different shape. So this one is worth $100. Good for you, Peggy. Holly Feger bought these boxes of hefty scrap bags for $1 each, so a total of $5, at a high school community sale. I had never seen them before and realized they were a discontinued item. I always like checking old cleaning products and items. Comps immediately looked good. I listed the lot for $139, but accepted a $100 offer. 5 hefty scrap bags with tear-off ties. So yes, I believe these are discontinued. So a great idea to always check the cleaning products, estate sales, a laundry room, garage sales. You never know what you're going to come across. So look those up like she did and made $100. Lori Knowles found what I think is like an artifact at Goodwill. So whoever is saying there's nothing good at Goodwill, it just depends. She paid $5.99 about 2 weeks ago at Goodwill, put the store on sale, and it sold for $100. It is a World War II 1944 mess pot with lid locks. So this got by somebody in the intake room at Goodwill and got put out on the floor, and you can see there on the top it's got US 1944 written on it. So that's definitely an artifact, and those people out there who collect World War II stuff love this. So amazingly, it got through the people in intake and got out on the sale floor, so that can happen to you too. Erin Hare, I hope it's okay, but I don't like to post sales less than 30 days old in case the buyer is here. Well, Erin, I appreciate that, but I don't think it matters. Even if the buyer sees it, it doesn't matter. They paid for it, they bought it, so, but I appreciate your caution there. She said, I bought this at an auction house for $10 and sat on it for a while before comparing all the pieces to the instructions sheet. Only one black hose missing. It took about an hour to check over and repackage. It was very large, but ironically, we gifted our daughter something that same size, I think is what she means, and her box was perfect. So they had a box on hand, is what she's talking about. Sold for $100, had several offers under $80 before that. This is a Lindbergh Big Red Rod model. $10 and it sold for $100. Next up is Kathy Brialt. Paid $20 at a thrift store, sold on promoted listings for $110 plus shipping. I'll definitely be looking to complete some more full years to list. Okay, so she wants to gather them up and have the whole year together. Martha Stewart Living Magazine, 2004, complete 12 issues. And Kathy is in Canada, and this sold for $109.99 Canadian dollars. But I love that she took the time to put together a whole year's worth because that's going to be worth more. Hannah Cagle sold these Napier cocktail shakers for my mom this past week. One says King on the top and the other says Queen. She bought them a couple of years ago at a small thrift store in Illinois for 99 cents each. Accepted an offer of $110 within 5 hours. Wow. Napier King and Queen set single serve cocktail shakers. Excellent. Gotta love those fast flips. Next is Cheryl Henderhan. Found this quilt top at the Goodwill bins, so probably about $4 in it. Sold in about 2 months for best offer of $110. Vintage quilt top feed sack fabric, postage stamp squares, hand stitched. So the advantage of selling quilt tops is that they are lighter. It's not the whole quilt with the batting and the back on it, so it's lighter. And there are people out there that just want the tops so they can finish it and do the quilting and add the backing themselves. And they take up less room than a regular quilt with the backing on it. Just some food for thought there. So $4 and sold for $110. Okay, on to another regular poster. Janine Allen Joyce found this vintage jumper at an estate sale for $20. There were lots of hand-sewn items, but this was the oldest and most unique. I ended up in a conversation with some people who knew the owner of this estate. It turns out she was a very gifted seamstress and well known in the community. This jumper was really well made, and I knew there was a buyer somewhere who would love it. It sold in about 3 months on send offer for $119 plus shipping. I just got a great feedback from the buyer. So this isn't even a brand, it's handmade. Vintage jumpsuit, wide leg, flower power. I love that keyword in the title. Culottes, sleeveless, hand sewn, 1960s, 1970s. So definitely a very cool, hip, vintage item. Great sale. We have another one from Cheryl Henderhan. I listed these last night and they sold today. Took best offer of $125. Picked up a box lot of old clothes that weren't worth saving at the local estate auction house for $2 and found a stash of old feed sacks in the bottom. It's why I'm hooked on the box lots. Unpacking them is like Christmas morning every time. Yes, I agree with you 100%, Cheryl. Even when I get stuff at my door that I ordered online and I open the box, it's still exciting when I know what's in there. But it's more exciting when you get extra stuff. Okay, Cheryl goes on to say, even though you look through them at the auction, there's always a surprise you don't see. Listed them all last night and these went quick. I figured they would. Great pattern and colors. These are three matching feed sack flour bag full open fabric vintage from the 1930s and 1940s. Now, Cheryl, I'm wondering, how did you know they were from those decades? Do you just know, or were they marked somehow? I'm curious to find out. So maybe, Cheryl, if you're watching, you can give us a comment there. So anyway, sold for $125. Here is a fun one. Annette Embler purchased it for $3 at a church sale. It sold in one day after listing for $125. It has a backstory that I knew nothing about when I purchased it. It's a latex hand puppet created by Mask Illusions in 1992. This puppet was made popular on the Conan O'Brien show. He is known as Triumph, the insult comic dog. He smokes a cigar. This was definitely a fantastic surprise. Okay, so her title is Mask Illusions Rubber Puppet Triumph, the insult comic dog. And it was $3, sold for $125. Tammy Smith, a very dear friend, gave me her late aunt's extensive perfume collection. This bottle is a Baccarat crystal bottle made for Dior. Sold for $128 plus shipping. I have several others to list. And that is quite beautiful. Christian Dior vintage 1950s vanity perfume bottle. Crystal, 5.5 inches. Wow, what a sale. Denise Haley, sale number 6 during May for over $100. So good for you, Denise. So weird. Not a lot of sales this month, but they've been high ones. Paid $31 in January at a perfume auction. Sent a 10% off offer today and it's sold. This is Spark by Liz Claiborne for women. EDP spray full bottle. So these two ladies got it right. You can only sell empty bottles or full bottles. That is the rule on eBay. I know I remind you of this often, but I get new people on these videos all the time. And yes, there are over hundreds of listings on eBay for partially full bottles, but that is a big no-no. So you don't want to be the one who gets caught. So this sold for $129.93. And then Denise has another one. Bought this in an auction lot in January, same as the perfume. I bought the lot because of this item and paid a total of $35 and had a couple of other items in there to sell. So I'm into this item for $15. Got full price today after 4 months. This is Estee Lauder Advanced Time Zone Age Reversing Wrinkle Cream. Okay, very good. Next up is Cynthia Wilson. Purchased in a charity thrift store for $3. The volunteers are older and their eyesight is not always dependable. This one slipped by. This sold on Buy It Now within seconds of listing it. Vintage 10 karat to 12 karat Black Hills Gold J Company Grape Leaf Circle Wreath brooch. Okay, it's a brooch. $3, sold for $150 immediately. Very good. Andrew Silveroli bought this off Facebook Marketplace for $15. I accepted an offer of $130 and it took about 19 months to find the right person. I love that phrase, to find the right person. That's what we have to remember. We're waiting for the right person. Talk about an awkward item to ship. Vintage Puff the Magic Dragon. Dragon Mobile Bouncing Rocking Toy. Okay, everybody, let's sing it. Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea. That's all the singing I'm going to do, but now that song is going to be stuck in your head too. I love that show. It's offer of $130 and it cost him 15. Okay, and for our cover photo, Peggy Chandler has another one. Paid 25 cents at a church rummage sale in March. Several have sold for $200, but I was ready to move it. Decreased the price and it sold that night. And this item I have never seen as far as Snoopy mugs. I know about the Fire King Red Baron mug and the other Peanuts mugs that are Fire King, but I have never seen this one. Snoopy Red Baron flying a 16-ounce mug with the scarf handle. That's quite unusual. So everybody look at that and file that away in your brain of BOLOs to look for, because this one is unusual. And not that I know everything, but after over 20 years on eBay and I've never seen this, definitely it is rare and unusual and valuable. Cynthia Wilson. This was part of a jewelry lot of rosaries and Catholic pins that I paid $10 for, so it was only a couple of dollars at the most. I was shocked to see it was 10 carat. I did a 7-day auction and started it at $90. It sold for $148.50. Gold is hot right now. Her title is Vintage 10 Carat HMH Yellow Gold Catholic Religious Pendant Charm 3.8 grams. Size 1 inch. And there you see it's a beautiful piece, $148.50. And I think this item gets the award for the most unusual item in this video. Diane Stumpf paid $6 for this unusual purse at my local thrift. I was surprised to see just how much they were selling for. I listed mine for $199.99 in March. I received a lowball offer with a very derogatory message within a week. I counter-offered, but it was not accepted. 1 month later, it sold while on sale for $145. It's going international, and I was assured it's going to a loving home. This is a vintage fish-shaped handbag purse, coated wicker rattan, made in Hong Kong. So yeah, that's pretty funky looking. A wicker fish-shaped handbag. $6, sold for $145. Sherry Lynn found this interesting felt wall hanging at Sally Ann for $3.99. Now, what is Sally Ann? Fill us in, Sherry, because I know you're in Canada, so I don't know if that's a Canadian thing or is that a nickname for Salvation Army or what? Anyway, she goes on to say, I knew it was indigenous art and just liked it. When I looked up comps, I was surprised that they sell for hundreds of dollars. I did research and found the artist's name, but she's not a well-known artist. I priced it high and within 2 days got an offer of $155 plus shipping. Oh yeah, I took that offer and so happy with it. So it's an Inuit art handmade felt wool wall hanging. The artist is Linda with a really long name that I'm not going to even try. So you can look at the screen and read that if you would like. $4, sold for $155. Denise Haley. These are from my childhood. They were my sheets for our cot in the treehouse we had. I don't know why I still have them 40 years later. I don't know why I decided to look them up before throwing them out, but I'm glad I did. They've been listed a few months, and today someone offered $150 and I took it. Note, they are super faded and have some small stains. Vintage John Rombola Circus Print Martex Twin Sheets, fitted and flat sheets. Well, Denise, I'm just guessing, but maybe the person who bought them had them as a child also, and theirs got thrown away or worn out or whatever. So here you are providing nostalgia for buyers out there in eBay land. Okay, Julie Brown always has fun things. She said, I went to a community garage sale. One person was selling cute vintage Daisy Kingdom fabric still on the bolt. I bought the whole bolt of two fabrics. This pattern was $16 and I sold it for $160 plus shipping in 9 days. Vintage Daisy Kingdom Honey Bunny fabric, double border. The designer is Nina and it's blue and pink, 8 yards. So $16 and it's sold for 10 times what she paid for it, $160. Kelly Thomas got at the bins for about $12, sold on offer of $175 in about 2 weeks. Second thick acrylic fuzzy blanket sold in the last month. The last one was Novatex for $240. Those vintage thick fuzzy blankets are worth keeping an eye out for. This is a vintage San Marcos original Lion reversible blanket, and it's big, 94 by 83. $12, sold for $175. Eileen Cole, free to me. This was my husband's game from decades ago. Sold for full asking price of $199 plus shipping. Took 3 months to sell. SPI War Game Terrible Swift Sword, Gettysburg 1976, complete. How about that? Still finding treasures in your house, Eileen. Good for you. Okay, Bill Hunt has another one. Got these from a storage unit. Paid $200 for my half of the unit. These have been in my death pile for 9 months. I finally decided to list in a lot, and they sold for $199.93 in 6 days. So that's Bill's fast flip, or one of them. Star Wars 1996 Collector Series 12-inch collectible figurines by Kenner, and there's a lot of 10 of them. So maybe a few dollars into this because he paid $200 for half of a storage unit. So there you go. Lori Knowles paid $5 at a community sale yesterday. Sold for full price after I listed today. Canon PowerShot ELPH 190 digital camera. Excellent. $5 and sold for $200. Holly Markham. I was walking into an estate sale looking for the glassware I had seen in the preview pictures and heard a lady asking if there were somewhere she could set items aside. I want to get a whole bunch of this glassware. The glassware was strung out on a mantelpiece, so I quick zipped up the other side and snagged these two pieces. Paid $12 each, so $24 total. Dodged a few lowball offers and sold for full price. Had it listed almost 6 weeks. Italian MCM Empoli glass circus tent jar and pitcher. Very pretty. Sold for $225. She purchased them for $24, so almost, again, 10 times her investment. Excellent. Stephanie DeSantis bought this for $12.99 at Goodwill. Frank Lloyd Wright print from the 90s at Z Gallery. Had it listed for $350 for 6 months. Reduced price and sold for $245 in about a week. So the title is Frank Lloyd Wright, the Illinois Z Gallery's signed box art. And I just am fascinated that these things are out there. So just in this video, we've got a cooking pot from 1944, and we've got Frank Lloyd Wright stuff. I mean, we're such treasure hunters, aren't we? Finding this stuff that is out there. Tamara Western. Woke up this morning to this nice sale. This teapot was free to me from a family member. I've sold a lot of this popular pattern. Paying to ship but sells for a really good price quickly. Royal Albert Moonlight Rose, large teapot with lid. Very pretty, very cottage core. This was free and she sold it for $250. And Scott Sweeney has another historical item to add to the mix of this video. He says, bought this whiskey bottle combination lock at an estate sale for $65. Sold it for $325. Was a neat find and something I never knew was made. So yeah, if you want to look this up, go plug this into eBay research, and it's actually a little combination lock for the top of a whiskey bottle. I didn't know such a thing existed either. How interesting. And it's from 1897. $65 into $325. Robin Parsons bought this Coach bag along with many others years ago at Salvation Army. Paid $5. Now they are all the craze. Sold for $330 in a week. This is a Coach handbag, small, vintage green Soho Y2K. That's why it's popular. That Y2K stuff is trending. $5, sold for $330 in just a week. Joy Archuleta. I went to the last day of an estate sale where everything was $1. I figured nothing would be left. I picked up about 8 Precious Moments figurines, which I typically skip over, but figured they were worth a gamble. This one was a limited edition and a newer figure from the series. Looked up comps when I got home and was pleasantly surprised. Listed it a week later for $350 and sold for full asking price in 8 hours. So yeah, Precious Moments can go either way. Some of that stuff was so mass produced and so cheap, it's not worth anything, but this is more of a collector item and well made. So it's the Precious Moments. We're there for each other when things get rocky. Limited edition, number 52 out of 3,000. So that's where the value comes from. Limited edition, and it's numbered. So she paid $1 and sold it for $350. Okay, Denise Haley has another one. I'm using her as an example that anything is possible. Get those items listed. She said earlier she had 6 over $100 sales so far. So I don't know what she ended up with for the month, but here's another one. This was in the bottom of a box of incense plates I purchased. I spent $12.30 on the entire box and have already made my money back selling just one plate from the 70s. I'm into each listing for $1. I wasn't sure what this was, so thankfully Google Lens told me it had value. This particular one had not sold in the last 3 years on eBay, but based on others, I went with a price of $54321 because it made me giggle. I woke up this morning to an offer of $362 after just 2 weeks of being listed. I do think perhaps I could have held out for more, but to turn $1 into over $300 in 2 weeks, I'll take it. Okay, this is a graphics vintage rare smiley face jester screw-on water bong base or hookah base. So definitely a specialty item, and I wouldn't have known what it was either. I would have plugged it into Google Lens as well, but $1 and sold for $362. Holly Markham has another one. Purchased at the Goodwill bins for $5. Accepted a best offer of $475. I rarely look in clothing or luggage bins, but this caught my eye when I was passing one. I noticed the gold YKK zipper and that it was green canvas with leather trim. So I started pulling it out looking for a tag. Was so excited when I saw Filson. I had heard someone on the podcast talk about finding one, and I couldn't believe my luck. And I did not even know Filson made luggage. That's a very high end, I guess you could call it sportswear brand for men. I guess they make women's stuff too. Um, Vests are the most well known, but they make coats and jackets and hunting wear and all kinds of stuff. So this is a vintage Filson twill garment bag made in USA suit cover. $5 turned into 475. Okay, we've got Rachel Beachy. Kind of a story here, but I'm so proud of you, Rachel. You're such a busy mom, 3 kids, homeschooling, living out in the wilderness, and you still make time to do eBay and find these great items. So she said, my biggest single item sale to date, which is why I put it in this video. Congratulations, Rachel. I picked up this pair of pictures artwork at Goodwill for $10. I thought they were super unique, loved the hand-painted frames, and they were numbered on the back. I did research and was astonished at the very few comps I found for this Trowbridge name. I listed high and I got a $300 offer, but declined. Then I took them off my store entirely for a couple of months and enjoyed them in my home. I decided I'd relist them at an even higher price and didn't have offers turned on. I really was happy to keep them, but everything always eventually sells, right? And this weekend they sold for full asking price of $529.99 plus buyer paid almost $70 shipping. Took about a year. There's an empty spot on my wall now, but there's always more stuff to be found. Yes, you are right. I think our homes are like revolving doors for stuff we find. It's like, oh, I'm going to hang this up for a while, and then you enjoy it, and then it sells, and then you can replace it with something else. This is a pair of Trowbridge Art Nature Botanical prints from 2002. Aren't they pretty? It reminds me of the Botanic Garden dinnerware and ceramic stuff. So $10 sold for $529.99. Nancy Thompson has a fun one. Found this skirt at an estate sale in the bottom of a box marked all clothing $3. Thought I could maybe get $100, but was very surprised to see what these skirts sell for. Put on a 7-day auction, as mine had a couple of small flaws. Sold for $627.99. I hadn't been listing consistently, lost my mom, my little brother, and my children lost their father. We were married 30 years, divorced 9. All in a span of 18 months. Oh my goodness, Nancy, I am so sorry. Bless your heart. That's a lot. Nancy goes on to say, it is so hard to stay motivated when we lose a loved one, but this sale has revitalized me to get busy. I totally understand. And yes, this would be a sale to get you moving in the eBay direction again. This is a vintage, authentic 50s Disney Lady and the Tramp Siamese cat print cotton skirt. And it was $3 and she sold it for $627.99. Wow, that is outstanding. And finally, Kelsey Lindbergh McKinley paid $30, sold in less than a week. Salad Master is a brand that will always have value. This would be the 5th or 6th set I've sold in my time doing eBay. So it is Salad Master 5-star stainless steel 24-piece set. And she sold it for a whopping $1,214.95. Good for you. That's just wonderful. And you guys are just killing it. Thank you so much for participating in the $100 thread every month on the group, and keep up the great work. If these sales don't motivate you, well, I am out of ideas. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Keep working hard and make it a great day on eBay. Bye!